Ryan here. Now let us discuss the dynamics of groups or group dynamics. In this video I'm going to discuss with you the remaining dynamics of groups. So now in part 1 I have told you the different areas and the different dynamics of groups and how that is going to create problem for our groups. So now you all know in every group, when the group starts or when the group interacts or when the group develops or when the group things are going on or when the group is going on, there will be always a newcomer who like to join or who wants to join. See, the newcomer is the one who joins the group in the later stages of the group process of group functioning, or he joins the group once the group is already formed and already had many functions, programs or activities and all. So usually what happened, the newcomer is a new person to the group. The newcomer is a person who always wants to know the group, always wants to understand his or her own members. The newcomer wants to know how the group is going to help him. There are a lot of things, but many a time what happened, few people join the group when they know that this group will help them to grow and develop. So it is a duty of the leader, group worker or the social worker to take care of the newcomer, help them to adjust and understand, explain them what are the programs, activities that you have carried out, what are your future plans, what are the programs you are going to carry out for the future, how this group is going to help them for the overall development. All these things has to be discussed with the newcomer. Not only that, it is a role of the leader as well as the group worker to see that the newcomer has to adjust to the group. The newcomer has to go along with the group, and newcomer has to be motivated in such a way that where he remains, he stays and he develops with other group members. So this is one of the important parts where you should know conflicts are always the part of our life. One or the other way, we see these conflicts daily. So what happens when the individual conflict, it is very easy for us to solve. But when there are group conflicts or when there are conflicts in the group, it has to be solved or it has to be sorted out in a very systematic way so that in future these conflicts will not create a big block to our group. So conflicts is nothing but the opposition, disagreement and the difference of opinion that arises among the group members. So it is very clear, I think I don't have to explain here how the conflicts arise when there is opinion, when there are discussion, when there is debate, or when there is argument, or when there is what I can say like or dislike, the conflicts has always arise. Opposition is distinguished through expression of conflict and competition. So what we need to understand is that we cannot say a group will live without conflict. No, there are always conflict because we need to remember the one principle: each individual is unique. Each individual thinks, discuss, reacts and interacts in its own way. So the conflicts will always arise in the group, but the important thing is that how we can solve these conflicts or what are the ways we can use to solve these conflicts. Let us know one by one what are the different methods we can use as a leader or as a group worker or as a social worker to solve this conflict. Here, first one, what I mentioned is elimination. So what is eliminating? So I will read out for you: the complete removal or destruction of something, the expulsion of waste matter, it is returned there from the body. Elimination. So you need to remove this from the group so that, but what is removing? Removing in the sense when there is dislike, when there is conflict, when there is interaction or positives and negatives when happens in the group, and that things when they give birth to conflict, it is a role of the leader or the group worker to eliminate it with the proper information so that these things are not again and again discussed in the group. So usually what happened, if any food poisons in our body, if it is remains again and again, we have to go to washroom. Because why you have to go again and again washroom? Because the content is there in our body, so it creates problem to our body and stomach. So what happened, if the same content, if the same what I can say, same the discussion, if the same block, if it is remains in the group, then the same conflicts may arise again and again. So it is the duty of the group worker, social worker, leader, or anybody. So you eliminate the conflict with the discussion, with the consent of group. Eliminate the conflict so that it will not come again. It will not arise again in the group. Next is subjugation. Subjugation is nothing but the action of bringing someone or something under domination or control. Dear friends, you need to know, see, as I say you solution of conflicts, why we have mentioned these types of solution, because you should know the type of conflict first, and you should know what are the solutions you have to use in a proper way, so that you can solve the conflicts in a very systematic way. Now the systematic way is nothing but which is the solution you are going to use. See, I'll read it for you once again. Subjugation, the action of bringing someone or something under domination or control. Sometimes what happens, the person may react in a such a way that, or the person may see that my ideas, my opinion has to be imposed in the group, or only my ideas has to be only my ideas has to be given more value, more preference. Means you cannot do that, because group have many individuals. Group is of not one individual. So if one person wants to dominate his thoughts, one person has to dominate his values, or one person has to control the group with the different areas. So you need to be, or the leader or the group worker or the social worker need to be very careful, so that the leader should not allow one person to control the group. Next, compromise. Settle a dispute by mutual concession, an argument or settlement of a dispute that is reached by each side making consciousness. Now, this is, I think, we all aware about what is compromise. Sometime what happened, I still remember when we are organized these debates or competitions and all, or when we do this individual talks and all, what happens is that there will be always for and against, there will be always agreement and disagreements. So it is the duty of the group worker to see that you compromise in such a way where both of them has to understand, both of them has to react, and both has to come to an control. Yeah. Next important thing, what we all should know, this alliance. See, I just read out for you. Alliance, a relationship based on similarity of interest, nature, or qualities. So many a time these has to be sorted out in such a way that where the people with similar interest, where they come together, so they can create a better environment in the group. So alliance, see, dear friends, when I say solution to conflict is not as easy as we are discussing right now, but now again, see, again there is something called integration. How we integrate with each other, how we really go well with each other, or what I can say, whether the individual in harmony with the environment, or whether the individual is really creating a problem. See, again, alliance where you align with each other with the similar qualities of interest and all. So when the person is aligned, or when the person in harmony with the environment, something like that, that create a better environment. Dear friends, I want to repeat it once again. See, what I am mentioning here is solutions of conflicts. Not necessary that you need to follow only these things, but basic important thing is that what type of conflict which arise in the group, and how and what are the methods among these, what are the methods you should use to solve the issue. For example, the issues or the solutions for the conflicts which we discussed right now is elimination, subjugation, compromise, alliance, integration. All these methods says that you eliminate, you subjugate, you compromise, you get aligned, or you integrate. Okay, fine, but the method of doing it is very important. Like for example, when the conflict arises in the group, how we are going to take care of it, what is the source of this conflict, is it is a misunderstanding, or whether it is based on caste, or whether it is based on culture, or whether it's based on group interest, or whether that is spoiling the group environment, or whether that is going to divide the group. All this has to be taken care very systematically, so that the conflict you can sort out. And always remember one thing, dear friends, when the issue of conflict comes, sudden decisions, sudden judgment we should not give. And it is not nice, not advisable, because first and foremost, we need to understand, and we also should know what is happening. And we should also know that why these situations are happening or what is the source of conflict, listen properly, understand properly, take opinion from both the side if there is a conflict, or try to understand the nature, or try to understand the real meaning of the conflict, then go for a proper conclusion. Group control. I think I have already discussed this thing, but why it is important? See, shared out in suit of a common goal for common purpose by commonly decided process is called as group control. See, dear friends, as I discussed with you, see again, I think I'll finish this first. Group control is closely related to the goals, task, and structure of the group. Now, what we need to really know is that what is group control? See, when you really handle the newcomer, when you really handle the conflicts, when you really handle the situation, when you really handle the activities of the group, you can really control the group in a very systematic way. See, I've discussed in the beginning what are your group tasks, what is your group goal, what is the developmental goal, what is the member goal, or what is the workers goal, what actually you want to see in the group, or what actually how you want to see your group, what are the changes you want to see in the group, that that comes together and controls your group. And always remember one thing, it is not the leader who is going to control the group. No, never. It is not that leader has to control the group, but it has to be mutually. You have to really sit together, you have to really plan together, you have to really interact together, you have to really communicate together, so that you don't have to separately think for controlling the group. Automatically the group is controlled. Your activeness, your enthusiasm, your real concern for the development of the group will automatically control the group. Next is hostility. Now, dear friends, we need to know what is hostility or hostile behavior. What we say, hostile behavior is nothing but a kind of unfriendliness or kind of opposition. Now, we need to know, being a group worker, being a leader, or being a social worker, or being a leader for the group, we need to understand what is this hostility and how hostility will create a problem. See, the move into a group which has developed a bond is not easy. The opposition of the newcomer, usually the one who has no high status introduction, needs special attention. Group react to the newcomer in a way different from the way they react to any other member. So dear friends, when we read these points, it is very clear that the unfriendliness towards a newcomer or the opposition towards a newcomer may create different problems, or maybe what I can say may create a block to the group. Now see, dear friends, you might be knowing in this part 1 and part 2, many a time I use the word block. Why I'm using the constantly, why I'm using the word block? Because the small block in the group, maybe because of any conflicts or maybe because of anything, the small block in the group may create lot problem. Now see here, what happened when you have strong bond in the group, if one person block or break the bond, that also will create a problem. See again, I when I told you in a newcomer, when I was discussing with you regarding newcomer is important person for the group, because if the group has to grow, we need to have many people, we need to see many people, we need to interact with many people, so we have to welcome people for the group. So when a newcomer joins, his expectations are different and he may not know what happened. So if you give too much attention to the newcomer, that also will create a problem. Because you cannot forget the existing member, you cannot forget the people, the member those who are already the part of the group. But what important thing is that how you need to react to the newcomer, how members are reacting to the newcomer. So the same pattern, the similarity, no partiality has to be done. Otherwise this hostility, unfriendliness, hostile behavior, opposition will create lot problem to the group. So that is why the group worker, social worker, or the leader has to handle this in a systematic way. Now, dear friends, here's something called behavior contagion. Contagion is a pickup of behavior from one individual to another when the originator has no intention of having the others to follow him, or it is found that high status among group members is more apt to cause others. See, dear friends, usually when we say role model, we behave them, we intimate them. Okay, so one or the other way their behavior is influenced. But what is behavior contagion? See, the definition goes like this, which I would like to read for you. It is a tendency for people to repeat behavior after one another, or So, what I can say in other words is that when the people have some behavior, we would like to follow them. We want to wear the dress the way they wear, or we want to act the way they act. Or sometime, okay, sometime if it is giving you any benefit in the sense the developmental benefit, then it is fine. Sometimes this behavior may cause major problem in the group. Then it becomes a problem for leader also, because you imitate somebody, you act the way others are acting, or you want to follow their behavior. Sometimes you may feel that okay, their behavior is helping you, but always remember one thing: what their behavior is the original behavior. We want to imitate their behavior, but till when or till how long we can imitate their behavior is a question mark. So that is why what we need to really know is this behavior contagion. Sometimes when you adopt positive behavior, it is very good, you can see your development. But if you adopt negative behavior, that will create a problem for your personality. That will also create problem for your behavior. So that is why it has to be properly understood that how the behavior will cause problem to the group members. If positive, then no issues at all. If negatively it is affecting the individual or the group members, then these has to be taken care. See, behavior contagion, again I want to tell you one thing: it is influence of behavior. Like how others act, how others react. I want to imitate, I want to be influenced by others behavior. Sometimes I may adopt others behavior. Sometimes it is good so that I can see my development, but sometimes it is not good, because when I adopt others behavior, I cannot live like that, because that is not my original behavior. So this has to be what I can say, this has to be taken care. So what I really want to tell you is that this group dynamics, see, this is a part second what I am presenting you. Group dynamics, every leader, every social worker, every group worker should know about group dynamics, because group dynamics are part of groups. You cannot just go and find out whether the group is having any dynamics or not, changes or not. So, I told you in the beginning also, sometimes changes are positive, sometimes we need changes. But sometimes what happens is that the changes will not take place as the way we want. Then we have to understand that the group is going in a negative direction. The group is not going the direction the support it has to go. So that is why understanding this group dynamic, working for this group dynamic for the better development of the group. Thank you.